Hey YouTube, welcome back. Today we have this problem. In the previous video, when we solved this problem in Leetcode, we come up with this solution. And today we try to find a new solution, or like a new way of solving this problem. So let's just try to read the problem and let's just try to find a new one. So it's the problem number 14, longest common prefix. Write a function to find the longest common prefix string amongst an array of strings. If there is no common prefix, return an empty string. Example 1, we have the input, which is strs, which has like flower, flow, flight, and the common string is fl. Here, dog, I don't know what all this, and car, and there's no common strings between them. So how can we solve this problem is in the previous one we just did what we can call a horizontal scanning. Today we can do some sort of vertical scanning by characters. So we can what we can think about we can create a function, and in this function we have we create a loop, and inside this loop we loop by characters instead of looping by full string, and we try to compare each character in the first string with its character in the next one, and do it until we find the among prefix, the common prefix. I guess this doesn't sound any this doesn't make any sense. However, when you see the code, it will be way more easier to understand. So first of all, I want to make a base case. So I'll say if no strings, or the strings dot length equals 0, we return an empty string. Otherwise, I will say I'll make a for loop. Let I equal 0, and I is less than strings array of the first element dot length and I plus plus. Some of you will ask why the first element like 1, or not the second, the third, the fourth, any number you put here, as long as this number is lived like it is reference to an actual element or an actual string, it will be right. Because let's take the smallest one here, which is flow. We know for sure that the common prefix is not bigger than 4, because if it's bigger than 4 characters, it will not be a common prefix. So the common prefix should be in all the strings. So if it's all the strings, it should be less or equal to the smallest string. So I will say I will have let character, let's call it character equals C, and the C it equals strings of 0, and dot character at I. Okay, and by the end of it, I want to return a string here of 0, and I will say why we do this one, but just leave it now here. So right now we have a character, so we loop only in the first string, and we loop by characters. So when I loop by the character, I make another loop, for loop, and also let j equals 1, okay, and g less than string dot length, strs dot length, not characters. It's important to look, this one is less than the character, this one is less than the entire string. It's important. This is very important in G++. So I will say, okay, so it's one line left. I'll say if I equals string dot of G dot length. Okay, or the strings of G dot character at I doesn't equals C, or the character, we return what's going on, why this is why, yeah, we return strings of 0 dot substring 0 and I. Okay, I guess no one understands what's going on. Let's just try to describe the code a little bit, and let's run example against it to make sure that did we get it or not. So easy. First, the function checks if this strs array is null or empty. If it is, it returns an empty string because there there can be no common prefix among null or empty string. Okay. The other thing, number 2 here, if the strings array is not null and it contains at least one string, it initializes a for loop that iterates through the characters, okay, the characters of the first string in the array. Okay. Number 3, inside the loop, it extract a character C at the current position I from the first string, which is strings of 0, strings in the 0 index, in the first index. Okay, it then enters another loop, okay, that iterates through the rest of the strings in the array. So we have strings of I to strings of strings dot length -1. So this one we iterate against all the strings in the array. Number 5, within this inner loop, okay, within this inner loop, we checks for 2 conditions. 1, if the current index I is equal or exceeds to the length of the current string of J. Or 2, if the character at the index I of the current string of J, it is not equal to the character C. If either of these conditions is met, it means that the current string, which is string of J, does not have a common character within the first string of string 0 at the position I. In this case, it returns a substring of the first string, which is string 0, from index 0 to index I to I -1. This substring represents the longest common prefix so far. If either of these conditions is met for all strings in the array, it means that the current C at the position I is common among all strings. After the outer loop completes, because of that we have this one here. After the outer loop completes, we return it. So after the loop completes, the function returns the entire first string 0 as the longest prefix, because no further common character can be founded beyond this point. Okay, let's just take this as an example, because examples will make it way more easier to understood. So we have this one as an example. So let's just find here first strings of I. Strings of I, character I, it will be if. Okay. And we have here, we start a G equal 1 and we start a string of G, which will be the second one will be, let's just have this one here, string of G, which will equals flow. Okay. And let's just start. So right now the character, the first character in the first string, it's if. We loop again. We say that if I, which is 0 right now, I equals 0. If I, okay, which is 0, equals strings dot g dot length. The length is 4 and this is 0. This is not true. This is not true. Or string of G. Let's just make this one. String of G, like this one. This is string of G. Character at, oh shit. Character at, I guess this is wrong. Char at, yeah. Char at, not kahar at. Yeah, this is wrong. Okay. If also or strings of G, which is this one, flow. The character at I, which is if also doesn't equal C. This is not true. This is not true. So continue. Okay, so right now we continue in this loop again. Okay, so we continue in this loop. So right now G will equals 2. Okay, so G right now will equals 2. So when G equals 2, we have the string of G will equals flight. Okay, so and string of I is still 0. So I'm saying, okay, so in this flight, if I equals string of G, I still equals 0, and string of G is 6. It's 6. So this is not true. Or string of G, the character I doesn't equal C. String of G does character I, which is 0, it's also F. So this is not true. So continue looping. However, G is less than the string, the array string. So we go to the next character, which is L. Okay, which is L, and we continue. So I will equals 1. Okay, and right now the character L will equals L, and we do the same for toString. I'll say that if this L, so we start to loop at that second 2 strings here that you can see. So right now G will equals 1, and I'm saying that if I dot strings, if I equals string dot string of G dot length, this is not true, because string right now we start here again. It's if L, it's 4 and we are 1, still 1. So okay, or string of G dot character at I doesn't equal C. Character I, C, I equals 1. So this L doesn't equal C, L, and it equals L. So no, this is not. This if it means continue. Not these things is right. It's true. So we go to the second one. We find the same. We have L. So we go to the I the I. Continue. We go to the third one, which is the O. Okay, the O. So right now, character will equals O, and the I will equals 2, and we start again with G with 1. I'm saying right now I'm still in flow. So I'm saying if I equals string of G, this is not true because it's 2, it's 4, and this is 2. Or string of G, the character I doesn't equal C. it's equals here, string of G equals O and the character O, so it's the same. However, when we come to flight and we just try, when we come to flight and we just try to compare it with flow here, we have I and we have O here. So we return the string, the first string from 0 to 2. So we take these two first. So we go character by character, not string by string. In the previous one, we go string by string. This one, we go character by character. It's a different solution, but I guess it's really worth mentioning. And I hope by description how this solution works, you understand it way more better. So let's just try to submit the code and see if it's working or not. This was accepted. However, we pitched only 32%. I guess we have 2 more solutions coming. So yeah, I'll wait for them and stay tuned for them. So yeah, that's it for this video, and I hope you find my solutions quite good. If you like my content, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a video, and see you in future problems.